Welcome to Art is Human, a podcast where we explore the artistic journey, one unique and everyday perspective at a time. We'll talk about where we've been and what we've accomplished, where we are right now, and what we're looking forward to. Whether you're already a seasoned pro, or you're still trying to find your voice in media, be reminded that by the very definition of art, your humanity makes you an artist, and art does come in many forms. I'm your host, Steph Sharkey Schultz, with 15 plus years of expertise across multiple market verticals and creative ventures. Without further ado, let's dive in and get inspired.
Phil Machi is an author, animator, and cartoonist out of Austin, Texas, who just released a new book amidst a massive animation project. Walk with us through the fruits of his successful Kickstarter campaign, a collector's edition of his book, and all the cool bonus swag before we talk about his creative process. Welcome to the latest episode of To Art is Human, the podcast. Today, we have Phil Machi on the show. He is a prolific artist and animator in the Austin area. Well known, attends all the film events. He published a book this year. There's a lot happening.
There's my book.
It's my book.
I recognize it.
I like the signature. It's all signed, and it was a very nice signature.
Thanks. Thank you. It's been a while since I decided to start signing my name like that. I didn't used to sign my name like that. That's more of a recent thing.
You used to sign it like this.
I did use it like that.
Which is also cool.
Yeah. I have 3 signatures. I also do my initials on stuff too.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah, no, because of this
Look at the front cover. You'll see how I signed the front cover. That right there. Yeah, that's exactly it.
The find it game. Find the signatures.
Yes, it is. It's the Where's Waldo of signatures. That was the way I designed that book.
My signature. This is the book I need to give you. There's a link to it on one of my websites. The whole entire discography, if you will.
Oh yeah, I've not seen this. Oh man.
SLS is in it.
That is like cryptic.
It's like a Klingon weapon. Yeah.
Wow. And like Klingon, no one can speak it.
There's a second issue, by the way. I was kind of, yeah.
Those turned out nice.
Thank you. This was printed by Kablam in my home state of Florida.
Oh, I know Kablam. Yeah.
But I'll make sure you get a copy. They're even barcoded it. And
Look
ISBN
it.
Yeah.
Look at you ISBNing and barcoding.
Would you stop being a dog for 5 minutes?
I'm trying to stop being a dog.
He's gonna come in here and show face because he knows. He knows when he's being talked. He knows when he's on camera. He knows. They know too much. Anyway, dude, man, this is really a great chance to catch up and talk shop and just. You said this is a culmination of 15 years.
Yeah, that's
a coping mechanism.
Yeah, well, I would say it started as a coping mechanism and then it became something different.
It became more awesome. And bookmarks. And I thought this was really fun, by the way. He gets
Thank you.
All the effort he's put into cleaning this.
So that is actually one of the comics on the inside. I don't know what page that is. But
I don't know what page either, but I thought it was really cool as a bookmark.
Thank you. Well, it's a horizontal comic, so I was like, that's exactly what I want for a bookmark. Thank you.
So,
yeah.
But no, just let's talk art and life and film and what's happening.
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
I'm excited.
Looking back on everything, you've accomplished a lot already. What is on the horizon right now? You are animating. You're gonna make it animated. Basically, is what's going on.
Oh yeah, I am animating. That is the horizon. That's the only project I have in my sights at the moment.
It's kind of a life's work. It's not just a project. It's more all-encompassing.
Yeah. It's gonna take a long time to make this cartoon. It has taken a long time and it is continuing to take a long time because animation takes a long time.
Yeah. So, oh my God, yeah. I've tried it. I've tried my hand at it. I know.
When it's all said and done, it'll probably be somewhere between 6 and 7 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a lot. That's big. Oh my gosh. That's a
lot. I've already made over 785 separate drawings.
Oh my gosh.
Drawings, yeah. So I've now storage is becoming something I have to ask myself on a regular basis. Like, how do I want to store all these drawings? What's a good
Yes.
way for me to catalog them so that if I need to jump to a scene and go back and work on it, how do I do that in a way that's easy for me? Like yeah, this is the questions for a traditional old school animator.
Thank God for traditional old school animation.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
my
you could make
gosh.
the argument that if I wasn't doing that, if I was doing it digitally, that I would have a very easy way of finding all the files, you know?
It's just I drew all my stuff by hand and scanned it in and colored it digitally.
Yeah.
There's something about the pen and paper, and
Yeah.
those were the days. Those were the days. The
Oh,
corded telephones and the bicycle rides around the neighborhood.
well, for some of us, that's still the days. I haven't abandoned those ways. So, you know,
It's awesome.
I like it. I
I'm
don't know that
kind
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I mean, if anybody was like, tell me how to do what you do, I'd be like, don't do it the way that I do it. That's the first thing I would say.
that's a huge undertaking. That's really cool. And you put in like how many hours of work a week do you think it?
You could argue that I'm doing this as one of two full-time jobs. You
Yeah,
could argue because the other
yeah,
full-time job being my regular full-time job. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't really give myself days off anymore.
I don't either. That's how it
That
is.
that's a bit of a thing I'm trying to force upon myself is to take time off. It's hard for me, and I'm sure you understand that.
Yes.
Um,
There's no
so
off switch.
yeah, well, I feel like I have some sort of arbitrary number in my head that if I do X number of whatever in a day, then I've earned the right to go and take some time off, which is ridiculous because you should take time off whenever you feel like you need time off. But animation is very much about maintaining momentum, and there is a very real part of me that is always just a little bit afraid that if I stop for too long, I won't be able to start up again.
Momentum thing.
So, not saying that you should use fear as a motivator, but I'm not saying that fear can't be a good motivator as well. So,
It's not a
yeah,
motivator.
it's not the only motivator, but I will say that there's a small element of like, if you want this to actually happen and become a reality, you're gonna have to pick and choose how you spend your time.
Yes.
And so every day I kind of ask myself like, okay, can I make time to make another couple drawings at least so that there's some forward movement?
I find myself like I get to the end of every day, and if I just can't do anymore, I just can't do anymore. Sometimes I'll bring the laptop back to bed with me and uh, putter around or see if I can finish a couple YouTube videos. But usually, your affected filter. Are you familiar with that terminology?
What?
Your affected filter. So in
Oh,
education,
yeah, yeah, yeah. After
yeah,
so many hours,
you
you're
just
not,
like hit a wall.
yeah, you right.
Nothing else is going in.
100%. And that's very true. That's why for me, um, I don't know, a lot of myself included, I used to do a lot of work at night. And
Yeah.
I can still do that, but I find that if I'm going to be working at night, the only way that that actually is effective is if I was working earlier and I worked into the night.
Mhm.
But if I'm starting at like 11 or 12, then I'm not going to be doing very much at that point.
Yeah, because you were still predominantly diurnal and you already
Yeah.
worked. So
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's best, like I find if I can get a little bit of something done before noon if I can, or at least from like the noon to 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If I can get something in that block done, then I'm more willing to take like an early evening break and then try to come back to it again after the sun goes down.
yes, that's really cool. There's a lady I follow on LinkedIn. Her name's Colleen Finn, I think, and she had these periods of time. She said her avatar is the moody tiger. She uses in all of her PowerPoints she uses the illustration of this little tiger, as like her personification. And she's like, during these times, I have the zoomies, the tiger zoomies, and this is when I get all my work done. But there's this time of day and this time of day where absolutely these are my not gonna happen times. Like I forget how she put it. So I just think like it's cool when people can be that self-aware that they can pick up on patterns. Me, I'm still
Some pattern recognition for me, but it's almost more than that. It's more about being very self-aware,
Mhm.
and because not every day is going to fit a pattern.
No, absolutely not.
So more important than having a pattern for me is recognizing like, okay, this is how much time I have in the day. I know that if I can, I've got enough energy right now to do a little something. Let me do that, and then I can build on it later. And if I'm starting to recognize that like my body is telling me to go for a walk or something like that, even if it's at a point where um, I should be doing something else, that I'll stop what I'm doing. Or I'm not always good at this, but I'm trying to get better about like stopping and go, okay, go do a walk, go do a thing, go eat
Smart.
something.
Smart.
But I'm not always good about that. There's days where I will work straight through any food or wait,
Yeah.
I need water or work through any bathroom breaks or work through any exercise, and I'll
Now
just,
that
uh,
for shame, sir. Bathroom breaks.
I know.
The most sacred. It's nothing sacred anymore.
No, that's how workaholic I've gotten. But I will say that, like I said, I'm getting better at recognizing those things and finding a point where I go, okay, look, you moved the needle this much. Do you feel like that's something that if this is me talking to myself. Do I feel like if I don't get anything else done for the next few hours that this is at least acceptable? And usually I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. It's not as much as I wanted to get done, but it's something, and I can build on it later. Then I can kind of break away for a little bit.
Progress looks different every single day. Showing up looks different every single day. Some days it's this much of the pie. Some days it's this much of the pie. Sometimes it's this.
I would say, to add on to that, progress in the visual progress, meaning like, so for like today, I started a brand new scene, which is great because it's the first day of the month, and I really like when I can link those things together.
Yes.
And so when I start a new scene, that's all about establishing like bookends of what makes the scene, and then like the points in between. And so whenever I'm doing that, it doesn't move very quickly visually because I'm sitting there and I'm like figuring out, it's a lot of thought stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
on those days, I don't have a lot of drawings to show for it, but the drawings I do have, they're foundational. And then from there, I can start going a little bit quicker because now I have all of my bookends, and I can start doing the in-betweens from there. So
You're
I
very
try,
organized. That's a
well,
great.
you have to be
Yeah.
organized.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
But my point is that I've started to remind myself not every day, the results of every day are not going to look the same.
Gosh. So what are a few things and just life in general that you're looking forward to?
The easy answer is to say I'm looking forward to getting through the cartoon, but the reality is I don't want to rush it because
Mm-hmm.
I've said this a few times to other people. When it's done, watching it, experiencing it will be 7 minutes of your life, right? But it's years for me to make that 7 minutes. So why would I be rushing myself to get to the end of something when the majority of the time will not be spent watching it? The majority of the time will be spent making it.
Yes.
So the making it is more important than the watching it. You know what I mean?
I wish you could have a team of animators. Do
Oh,
you?
I wouldn't want that.
You wouldn't? Oh, because yeah, you want if you want a job done right.
I just not. It's not that I want to. I don't like saying what done right because that's not fair to other artists. I
You'd
would
have to
say,
stop and explain everything, and it would just be like it's not their baby. They don't
yeah,
understand it the way you do. That's just you're
that's
doing the
it.
one doing it justice.
That's it.
I get you.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's more about like it would slow things down just to have to babysit everybody, and then if they're not moving fast, now my job becomes about getting on their piney about it, and I don't want that.
The pipeline, the
Yeah, I
pipeline.
don't want, right. So it's like, does this take a crazy amount of time? Yeah, it does. But if I want the next scene to start happening, then I just have to start making it happen. I don't have to like confer with somebody and send an email and wonder what's going on. And people act like having a staff is so great. It's like I don't need to turn this into that kind of a project.
Yeah, exactly.
This
It's,
is a self-expression project. I don't want my self-expression to be filtered through other people's experiences.
right. Yeah.
If I was a showrunner and I had a show on a streaming platform or whatever, that's different because you have like very clear deadlines that they need to have a certain number of episodes done. That's different. You have to make those deadlines.
Contractually. Yeah.
Right, right. That's very different. I don't have anybody holding a contract over me. This is just a one-off. Maybe I'll do another one after this one, but for now, this is just a one-off. And I don't have to. I am trying to keep myself moving every day because I feel like that helps the project have some speed around it. Uh,
Yes.
and it makes it easier to be motivated if you already feel like you have momentum going forward. But if I don't finish it by the end of the year, like no one's gonna care, you know?
Everyone's along for the ride. I think you've
Yeah.
got a dedicated audience and they're just like, it takes as long as it takes, Phil. Nobody's pressuring you.
No, but people do say on a regular basis, like, gosh, I can't wait to see when it's done, which is nice. It's nice to hear that, but it's like I always have to remind people, well, that's great that you feel that way. But you have to wait a while because it's going to be, probably several years. So
It's cool.
it took me 6 months to do I want to say around a minute to a minute and a half worth of pencil animation. It took me 6 months for that.
That's so cool though. Oh my gosh.
So every Friday night, though, I do a 1 hour live draw where I turn my camera to the left there and I show my drawing board and I explain the scene that I'm on and what I'm trying to do. And I get a few drawings done and I do a lot of question and answer with whoever pops in. So
So cool.
that's my video like diary, I guess if you want to call it, or if anybody ever wonders, like, gosh, I wonder how long it took him to do this, you can go back through my channel and go, oh, look at all these live streams where he was, each one I say, like, tonight I'm finishing up scene 19 or something like that.
I'm gonna be linking everything when I post this.
I appreciate it. Well, yeah, retailsunshine.com is the Patreon.
Yes.
And then YouTube, you can just search me on YouTube. I'm not hard to find.
I'm subscribed to you. I have been for a while.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It took a really long time. It took me years to get to the
Yeah.
point where I hit 1,000. I don't know, maybe until you hit 10,000, then maybe things get easier. But I'd like to say that once you get to 1,000, things get easier. They don't. It felt like a reset was pushed behind the scenes, like at YouTube, and
Yes.
it was very weird. It was like I was getting a lot of traction, and literally the next day after I hit 1,000, then like everything just stopped. And it freaked me out because I was like, well, it's like I have to start from zero again. It was very weird.
I wonder what that's all about. Because you're still posting regularly, so it's like,
Not as, but yeah, well, I would say weekly live streams I am. But what I will say, my theory is I think they have like everybody, this is not, I don't have any inside information. I'm just saying this is what
no, nor do
uh,
I.
my theory is they have everybody set up into like different pools, and like
Here's
once you're like up to the 900s of subscribers, you're like big fish in a small pond. And then once you hit 1,000, my theory is they pluck that fish out and drop it into the ocean, and then you're tiny again. I don't,
wow.
I can't say for sure that's what's happening, but that's what it looked like when I was observing all the analytics.
Has there been anything else that has cropped up along the way that you're like, because you have a singular focus right now that has momentum and locomotion behind it. You're like, I want to get this, underway. It doesn't necessarily have to be done tomorrow. I'm not rushing. I'm not rushing. I'm enjoying the journey. But like, are there things that you're like, oh, I might do that in a few years. Oh, I might do
It's
that next. Yeah.
it's this project's been interrupted a couple times already, so
Oh,
now I'm very yeah. Well, the book was an interruption.
oh, I see. Okay.
So for 8 months, I wasn't working on this cartoon. I was putting the book together and running a Kickstarter campaign. So,
That's huge. Yeah, that's a lot of
so
work.
I don't want to get derailed again because I was derailed for another animation but 2 years ago. But anything I want to do in the future, there's a book I already wrote it out, and I started illustrating it, but then got sidetracked. So
Yes.
that book would be cool to put out maybe at some point. There's a card game that I just need to redo all of the art for.
I
If I
just need
can,
to redo all the art. It's no big deal. That sounds
yeah,
like a
it's
lot, Phil.
super easy. Well, when I say redo, I mean I'm gonna pull artwork from recent stuff and then apply that to the cards.
Aha. Okay, I
So this is
dig.
a card game I developed pretty quickly after the series started in 2008. And at that point in time, me and a buddy of mine that worked together, and he helped me come up with like the mechanics of how the cards would work and everything. And I was doing all the
Love it.
design stuff.
Awesome.
But at that point in time, the series was really early, so I didn't have a lot of art to supply the cards with.
I see.
And then on top of that, the series has grown. Like visually, it looks very different than it did in 2010, 2008. So anything that I've already made, I don't really want to use it. I want to go back and redo all these cards and put more modern looking stuff on there. So that's what I'm saying. Like I never released the game because I didn't feel like the art was finished. And now I'm like, well, if I'm going to put it out in a modern time, it really should reflect the way the series looks now. So that's why I haven't put the game out. So eventually I may put out a card game. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
I think that sounds like a lot of fun. And when it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if I started putting effort into that right now, then it would derail the animation. So I just have to say, yep, that would be nice, but I'm not going to do it right now. Um, there is a small mini project that I may indulge in later this year, which is I make enamel pins based on the series,
Yes. Oh yeah, I
and
have mine somewhere. It's so
so there's
cool.
there's another pin that I want to design. So it shouldn't take me that long because I kind of already have the art for it. I just need to like make the card stock that it would be attached to. So
Oh, neat.
as soon as I do that and throw a bunch of money at it, then that will happen.
Sorry. I mean, this was already pretty freaking awesome
Oh, well, thanks.
and practical. I used it to clean my glasses off.
Well, see, that's the idea. I try to make stuff that people are going to be interacting with on a regular basis.
No, you done good. You done good,
Thanks.
kid.
Well, I've done 3 Kickstarters now, and every time I've done a microfiber cloth. So it's something that people that follow my Kickstarters, I think they come to
Come to
expect.
expect it.
Yeah,
Yes.
kind of.
Where
So
is
I
where
don't
is
know
it?
when I'll do. What's that?
Where is it?
Yes, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'll do another Kickstarter. If I do, there's gonna have to be another microfiber cloth, but it's just the way it is.
You can't disappoint the people, Phil. This is what the people ask for.
No,
This is what the people
I
expect.
can't. They've been patient with me for so many years.
Where can people find livestock?
That book is available as print on demand through a website called lulu.com, Lulu. So if you go to lulu.com and search probably my name or the word livestock or both together, it'll pop up, and that's the only place it's available.
Right now.
Yeah, I've thought about returning to them over the years, but it may not happen. It was a very important chapter of my life, but it's one of those things where sometimes you have to, I don't know, you got to be willing to compartmentalize a little bit, you
Cost
know?
benefits analysis. I've Mr. Guy. It was made for a purpose. Like he followed me from early childhood. This character, I drew him on everything, everywhere since I was 4 years old. He had a whole story. I finally fleshed some of it out. I sold everything I made available for sale. I wanted to kind of
Well, that's
really
huge.
hoard some of them to myself for.
Well, you gotta think of these things as stepping stones,
We are
like
cult comic book artists, cult classic That's it, cult classic comic book artists. We have
Yeah,
small, loyal
sure,
followings.
sure.
And
And yeah. And also the making that book for you, informed you of the process of making a book. And so while it may not be something you're currently engaged with, if you go and do another one, you now can use that experience, and you can kind of dig back into that part of your brain, and then, it won't be so weird to do it a second time.
you know it. Well, yeah, it's gonna have an ending, and I'm gonna release it as a proper graphic novel instead of a double shot, because it's cool and all as two comics, but it needs to be a graphic novel.
Are you saying that you just want to do a combined printing of the two, or do you have more that comes after those two?
There is more. There is more
Okay.
that comes after. I wrote half of the third and final installment. It is available on my website. I'll shoot you the link later. Yeah, it's very, very think outside the box, very much break the fourth wall. It's, he
Okay.
literally interacts, the creation literally interacts with the creator. That's the whole theme throughout my work. I have this character, Jeek Spoodley. It is hysterical. It's this goofy little guy, and he lives in this world, and he accepts his existence. And I'm trying to impose all of these just completely absurdly, and his family and his loving wife and blah blah blah. And he's just like, nope, I live alone in this dilapidated shack in the heart of a festering crack town.
Completely relatable.
It's just like, I'm living my life. I'm okay with my life. I don't need you trying to impose anything else on me. Like the creation almost usurps and almost no, just rebukes. And I allow it because it's just stupid. It's ridiculous. But no, I think it's hysterical to kind of give them such a life that they it feels like they're taking over a little bit.
Oh, well, I mean, I think once you write a character long enough, they start to write themselves.
Tends to be that way. Yeah, personally, I feel like I'm so far away from all the creative stuff that I used to do. There's already a lot of people out there that have come up with other things that are like, oh, that's shockingly similar to the premise I wrote. Like, and I didn't release it and I didn't publish it anywhere, but there's like some kind of collective consciousness or something.
Yeah, I think there is. I
Yeah,
think there is.
it's whack. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I have stopped working on for upwards of 10 to 15 years now, because it's just been, I'm adulting today. What, backwards dead end job am I working today to pay rent? And
Yeah, still try to have fun.
yes,
Don't make productivity so much your mistress that you forget to enjoy it.
yeah. This too shall pass. Tomorrow's another day. That's what I always say. Tomorrow's a day we've never lived before.
It's very true.
Full of possibilities. Anything can happen. Just
Mhm.
continue making those micro adjustments until you solve the equation, change up the variables, and challenge the parameters of your reality.
That sounds very mathy. I'm very honored to be such an early visitor to your cyberspace. So thank you for inviting me, making me feel welcome.
Absolutely, my pleasure. It's always a pleasure, Phil. And you're going to be on future episodes too. That's the
Oh no.
nature
I didn't
of the
did I
beast.
sign something? I got into some kind of a commitment here. Oh boy.
All participants are welcome to return.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's like the
No, it's
Hotel
good.
Hotel California.
It's a lovely place, I heard. Oh
You can check
man.
out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
And I didn't know if we wanted to talk about tools to take back our rights from AI. There is this new artist platform. I don't want to plug something I don't really know about yet, but there's
I know the
supposed to
one I
be.
know the one you're talking about. I'm not 100% sure if that's as soon as that platform came out, I saw something else that said if you're looking at a screen, then it is something that can be manipulated by AI.
I think everything can be crawled by AI and nothing is safe.
So I don't know what my tools recently have been. I don't post progress pictures. I don't love that. Uh, it doesn't make me happy. I feel like they ruined a good thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't have anything I hate to say, I don't have anything like positive to say about it other than, you know, yeah, I don't know. Don't let it stop you from being creative, but
No,
I do think it's going to adjust how people share their work. And unfortunately, that's a major part of being an artist is sharing your work.
unfortunately, yeah.
And so now the incentive is not really there to share like it was. At least for
Mhm.
me, it's not. Just as easily as AI is creating a lot of havoc, there are other people out there who are finding ways to use AI to combat AI. And that kind of gives me hope that for those of us who aren't fighting that fight directly, like by programming or whatever, that somebody out there sees that there is a value for it and a desire for things to be safer for artists, and so that there are people that are fighting for all of us. And I think that's the only really hopeful thing I can say is that somebody is fighting for the little guy. It's just a matter of how long is this gonna take, and is this now, permanently the way things are gonna be? I don't think we know because all of this stuff is in its infancy.
It is. It's a lot of it is learning, and the world's not quite ready for it yet. But there are going to be your good actors, your bad actors, and at the end of the day, AI is just a tool, just like anything else. So
Well, I will push back a little bit on that statement.
sure, I hope to hear it. What do you
Uh,
have to say?
I don't think it's just a tool. I've heard
Yeah,
that argument before.
really? Okay.
I think yeah, people will say it's just a tool. That's an argument that people make all the time. And I don't think it's just a tool because, you know, if you look at like, or maybe there's degrees of tools, but you look at a hammer, and I've never seen a hammer, you know, involved in theft and
Right.
taking something that was created for by somebody and then like in such a short turnaround time taking that thing and then twisting it around. I've never seen anything that does that. And so I feel like if it is a tool, it's like tool squared or tool cubed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not a traditional tool, meaning traditional tools in my mind really needed a lot of effort with the person wielding the tool. And now the amount of effort needed to wield AI is really minimal. You don't have to have vast programming knowledge. You don't have to have artistic knowledge. You just have to be able to type a few words, a few, phrases, and and it literally does the work. So to me, that's not a tool. That's something different. And I don't know what the right word is. Um,
A force.
yeah, and the people that seem to be on the people that are defending it, they're defending it because, in my opinion, they want what they haven't had all these years. They want to have they see artists as somebody to emulate and be envious of. And so their answer, this is just my opinion, but their answer was, instead of trying to invest like years of my life into developing myself, I'll just go ahead and do this quick fix and cheat my way into getting the results that I think are, are going to make me popular.
It's
So,
it's so it's twisted because people don't love themselves like they should sometimes. I built this podcast on the premise that art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination. It's typically in a visual form, such as a painting or sculpture, but ultimately it's whatever evokes, emotional response or personal gratification. And I know that I have listened and talked to a lot of people and heard on shows people saying, oh, I think I couldn't draw in grade school, so I was told I wasn't artistic. And you get a lot of people that are really, they've really had internalized and become angry about that. But I think people need to realize, the definition of art is human creative skill and imagination. People have to find what their art is. Just because they can't draw like we can, and they can't paint like we can, or they can't animate like we can, doesn't mean they're not an artist. Just being a human makes you like there's career artists, there's like professional, somebody who makes money at being an artist. And then there's just like, bread making is an art. It's a completely different art.
I agree. I think the thing that people look over the most, this kind of like is a pet peeve of mine.
I want to hear.
Drawing doesn't come easy, or it didn't come easily to me growing up. I still feel like it doesn't come easily to me.
Huh.
I
I
was
don't feel
all,
like it comes easily to me. It doesn't.
yeah.
It's a lot of
So
work to do this. Yeah.
yeah, so what bothers me about how I think people look at artists is that they see somebody and they go, well, sure, I would do that if I was born with what that person was born with, and then they dismiss it, and then they don't take responsibility. But in order to get
Yeah.
to, and I'm not even somebody that's famous or living off of my creations, like as far as money goes.
Yet.
Well, if it happens, then it happens. But I mean, I never, I'm not gonna try to like put my value in that, you know. So, because society puts, I mean, I appreciate the vote of confidence, but I'm not trying to shoot you down. I'm just saying
I get you.
society puts the value on that. Well, all I'm trying to say is this is not something that I just woke up and had the ability to do. This is not something that I like because I've done it for decades, that I can churn something out super quickly. I still have to really work. I still have to get my head in the game. I still have to work on dealing with negative self-talk
Yes.
and uh, imposter syndrome. And so that's what bothers me is people will look at an artist and assume, well, I can see these great results they have, ergo, it comes easily to them. And therefore I don't have to try because I'll never be them. And so there, I'm going to go ahead and use these cheat tools and I'll just, I'll just bridge the gap because I could never be them. It's a bogus argument. They just don't want to put the old adage of 10,000 hours is what it takes to become an expert in something.
I
And
think I've heard that. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. So they just don't want to put 10,000 hours into it. That's literally, I'm not saying that like this is every example, but
Mhm.
I'm saying, in my opinion, the vast majority of people that feel that way simply don't want to pour their life into it. There's this kind of a trend where if somebody tries something and they're not instantly great at it, then they give up.
Yeah.
And that's literally the worst attitude to have about anything creative.
Well, I'm just not natural. No, it's about if you want to do it or not.
Oh, is it going to be worth the money? Oh, is it going to be worth this? It's like, well,
They're
do you,
overthinking it already.
right? Do you want to do it? Does it make you happy to do it? Because I'll tell you right now, if it doesn't make you happy to do it and you're not enjoying it for yourself, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
That's the line in
Yeah.
the so
Does it make the little endorphins and the little serotonins and the little dopamines?
yeah, you have to
Yeah.
get very, very good internally. You have to get very, very good with, by good, I mean, you have to make peace with the possibility that the thing you love will never make you any money.
Yeah.
And and if I don't mean you, I don't mean you.
No, in general.
But
I
I'm
know.
saying
It's
the
not all
royal,
about me, Phil.
I mean the royal you, the royal you. So I'm saying like if you, the artist, if you are okay with not making money at something and you're like, I still want to do this anyway. It still brings me joy. I don't want to toss it away because it's part of my human experience. Then that's the thing you should be doing. And hopefully people will recognize you for it and throw money at you. But if they don't, you should still be doing it anyway because that's what is bringing your heart the most joy. So,
Yes. Absolutely a pleasure. Thank you so much for expounding and for sharing, and I hope everyone benefited from this. All right. Well, perhaps there will be a future show, but until then, everyone have a good day and or night. Phil, take care. Talk again soon. Thank you so much for your time.
thank you, Steph.
Bye, Phil. Our main points today. Find your own routine and approach to doing what you love that works for you without expecting others to follow in the same footsteps. The artistic experience is one we tailor and carve out for ourselves. We had insightful and thought-provoking perspectives and discussions on AI and the fate of what we've created, and what it's so-called creating or extrapolating, in a manner of speaking. Here's a reminder to love ourselves for who we are, for what we can and cannot do, to embrace acceptance and flex what we're best at. Keep an open mind and ample grace when it comes to finding your creative voice. Not everyone can be Da Vinci or Kahlo. And by that same token, consider that there is only one you. Be ready to put the work in. More often than not, we learn the most by doing. Some skills truly do not come naturally. They have to be worked at and developed with care. And that's okay. You can't rush art. It takes time. Do your art because it brings you joy, and for no other reason. And it will be a lot more pleasant and harder to burn out on.
And if you would appreciate the perspective of an award-winning brand designer, a fine artist whose work has been featured in galleries from coast to coast in the United States, a recording artist and singer-songwriter, a cult classic comic book creator, and a filmmaker with credits on projects with industry giants like Paramount, Visa, the BBC, and more, I would love to work with you. Book a consultation today, and let's find out what your art is.